I will take you on a tour of BodySite real quick. So yeah, I got crazy downloading all their stuff. You've seen all their plans and templates, and whenever I change it and edit the information, because I do it all the time, I change the little picture. Go into my plans. Okay, mine have better pictures, right? All right. A lot of my plans have links where they can get into full scripts and shop for whatever they need. Like this one has a Zymogen 7-day detox kit. Doesn't come with it, but they can go in and buy the detox kit and then they have monthly access. So they can start the plan whenever they get the kit and then do the 7-day detox or keep starting the plan over, whatever. Then there's also a liver gallbladder detox with a different company. So it's the exact same plan. It's just the videos that describe how to use the detox are different. So this is the same. I just made a copy. This is the Metagenics Clear Change plan. It's a 10-day plan. They have to go to Full Scripts, buy the detox kit, and then they'll have the plan to play with. Rainbow Reset, you're just eating different colors of food. 2-week Eat Green, you're just eating green food. But this 14-day Lean and Green Reset is exactly this food plan, but there's a box, the Designs for Health 14-day detox box that goes with it for people who really want to lose more weight. And this is the same thing. Same as the 14. These three are all the exact same food, but this one has the NutriClear 15-day detox kit that goes with the 14 days of food. 21 days of mindfulness. They just get videos about from this Jennifer Grace wellness coach. But in all of mine, I've edited hers because I put like, oh, she's saying gratitude. Well, Young Living has a blend called gratitude, and I say something about that. Motivation. Well, Young Living has a blend called motivation, so I say something about that. So this one's connected to some essential oils. It's all the same content as the regular thing, but it adds some essential oils if you want to use that. Ultimate Bind Detox, 28-day diet. I want to say it's a paleo diet, but then I added this 28-day detox kit for people who want a heavy metal cleanse. The Unmask Your Body's Unwanted Foods is really the 30-day elimination diet. I just called it something different because functional elimination diet doesn't sound like you ever want to do it. But unmask your body's most unwanted foods, it definitely sounds like you want to do it, right? 75 hard, it's that popular diet. 75 soft. These people work out twice a day. No one's going to do that. This one's you work out once a day. This one, if you miss a day, you have to start it all over. This one, nobody cares if you miss a day. Most people are going to do the soft. I was going to create a medium. I just haven't gotten around to it because there is a medium. They just don't have it already loaded. 800 calorie plan with homeopathic drops. Basically, the HCG diet it in here you can buy the drops. On the page one, it gives you a link to full scripts where you can buy some appetite suppressant drops and do a diet similar to the HCG diet. It just gives you more calories. But there is a 500 calorie one. If somebody wanted it, I could download it because really most people should do 1800 calories at least. Then there's a 2200 calorie. I altered it to a pregnancy diet because that's the highest number of calories they have. And a pregnant woman can do, if she's going to calorie restrict, that's where she has to be. She can't ever do this. She can do that. GLP-1, it's just instead of tirzepatide or semaglutide, it's just general GLP-1 education. And then there's a specific tirzepatide one. I have oral tirzepatide pills and I have the injection, so you have to pay attention. If they're doing the injections, this will guide them. If they're doing the tablet, this will guide them. If they're doing semaglutide injections versus whatever. So normally I think these are like $99 for 3 months. Then when they're done with the semaglutide, like the 90 days, they can jump into one of these other cleanses. Or they can even do a cleanse and then do the tirzepatide. So clean 28 is just, it's kind of like, what is that, whole 30? Just clean 28 for weight loss. Clean 28 intermittent fasting means they miss a meal, but they're similar diets. Diabetes prevention program. This goes on for a year. It is proven to Dreamland Cellular. These are for people who can't sleep. Like every day I tell them, did you know magnesium helps you? Or did you know you can drink chamomile tea? So every day there's some suggestion about something they could try for getting more sleep. I even put in some education about stuff I can prescribe in case it gets to that, but there's a lot of natural suggestions for helping sleep and a lot of meals that kind of help you with your neurotransmitters to help you sleep. Stretching and yoga for people who really just want to stretch. Everybody needs to stretch because we all get real stiff and our posture gets bad. So everybody needs that. At home fitness, just stuff with some barbells and a yoga mat and some stretchy bands for people who just want to work out at home but need guidance. Walking plan. I just like the picture. That's one of my favorite pictures. Jessica Biel's 8 week strength. So people who kind of want to work out like a Hollywood star, here you go. Losing the baby weight. I mean, it could be a year postpartum from the babies. Prenatal, if they're pregnant, here's what you're going to do. Lean 13. I gave this to someone who hates to exercise, doesn't have time. She only has to work out 20 minutes, 3 days a week. It'll even say, work out today. Here's a rest day. Here's another rest day. Work out today. So half of the days are blank. I usually try to not let that happen, and I go in and give them something entertaining to do, but some of them I haven't gotten around to that yet. Women over 40, 6 week shape up, 12 days of holiday stretching. It's exactly the same as this yoga one. They just threw some holiday pictures in there. I might change it or delete it. Fibro ease diet. I made this up. This fibromyalgia people should do a FODMAP diet because they have gut problems, but they also need a low copper diet. So I actually went in here and edited all the diet plans to put them on a low copper FODMAP diet for 30 days just so they can see if those two things are their problems. If you don't do it, you don't know. So fibromyalgia people, they might want to play with this for a month. It might be 2 months. FODMAP diet is just the regular FODMAP diet that has nothing to do with fibro. Like here, they'll actually have some facts about fibromyalgia and some education. This is just straight up eating differently to get rid of your irritable bowel. Microbiome, another rescue, but it has a kit that goes with it. So it has some education, like the biocidin kit, and it has education. So, like, it would be annoying to do this diet and you only want the diet and you keep getting commercials about biocidin. So I duplicated it. So this is like the same diet 3 times, just with different education. Then there's 60 days of health and well-being. So it's diet and exercise together. It's one of the very few plans where they have diet and exercise together. Note, this is the exact same diet, but with purple food. I literally like duplicated this one and called it the indigo method because every single recipe is going to be, well, instead of regular cauliflower, get purple cauliflower. Instead of regular kale, get purple kale. And here's another purple food. So there's a lot of power in purple food, and I do a lot of education about that here. But they're the same platform. It saves me work if I make a copy and then change the whole thing instead of me writing recipes from scratch. That takes so much time. Healthy hormones for men. It's pretty long. I want to say it's 60 to 90 days long. I need to go in and edit some more information because some of the days were blank. Same thing with healthy hormones for women. Some of the days were blank and I filled them in with herbs, a new product, essential oils. It's mostly education about hormones, but not meals. So they might actually want to do either the indigo method or this hormone plan. I've actually written the hormone diet plan. So some people, if they just have a plan that says how you to manage your hormones with herbs, they might actually want the food to go with it. So these go together, or they can. I have somebody who I'm doing it together and she's losing weight. Viral resilience. It used to be called the COVID-19 plan, but there's so many more viruses, and this is just a general. Maybe you have long haul COVID and you need to recover. Maybe you keep getting COVID and you're sick all the time and you need to figure out how to not get a virus. So this is just a lot of education on herbs and eating and habits and just to keep your body resilient from viruses. So resilience keeps you from getting sick. Rehab to rehabilitate you from after you haven't recovered. Hormone Ignite plan. This is a Mediterranean diet. It's kind of like the Galveston diet, if you ever heard of that. The Galveston diet is basically a Mediterranean diet, but intermittent fasting. So it's the intermittent fasting Mediterranean diet, but I add a lot more but this is good for hormones too. I just don't advertise it that way. Purple things are very good for hormones. Both of these are good hormone diets, very good companions to healthy hormones for women education. And one of those 40 women diet plans. Yeah, this one. If somebody did all three of them simultaneously, A, they'd be getting a lot of text, but B, you need to do all of it. Or they could just do them in sequence so it wouldn't be overwhelming, right? So calorie conscious keto. It's a keto diet that has set at 1800 calories. So not only are you calorie restricting, but you're also not eating. But I changed it. It just was a regular old carb. It was called the low carb restricted diet. Technically, it was keto. So I changed the name. Carb clarity. I hate for people to do this forever because you really can't starve yourself forever, but for a month to lose some weight, great. Carb clarity. So once upon a time, I had a patient who only lost weight with the keto diet. And I'm like, yeah, well, keto's 20 grams of carbs. That's just mean. Atkins was 50 grams of carb. Everybody lost weight on 50 grams, so why are we doing 20, right? So I had her do the keto diet, and then after the first 28 days, I said, well, add 10 grams of carbs, do 30, and then the next week do 40, and then the next week do 50, and then the next week do 60, and then keep weighing yourself and measuring yourself and see what happens. And if you are still losing weight at 60, you just got a lot more food and you can actually go have a dessert or go to a party or do something. And if you get stuck at 70, so now she knows she can actually eat between 60 and 70 grams of carbs and maintain her weight. But the first month, she already lost her 10 or 15 or 20 pounds, right? So she's pretty happy. 3 years later, this woman is still the same weight after she did this program. Not, she didn't have to use an app. She just had to figure it out herself. But here's an app that actually keeps giving you ideas on how to eat and pull up your carbs. Carnivore calibration. I don't like for people to do the carnivore diet forever because I think, since I'm the one that wrote the indigo method, I clearly think that eating purple things is important, and purple things are never meat. Purple things are fruits and vegetables. So carnivore is counterintuitive to that. But anyway, some people are allergic to so many plants. They're allergic to trees and every grass. And so it's very hard for them to figure out what they can and cannot eat. So doing carnivore for a month, if they're not allergic to meat and know they're allergic to plants, it's a great idea. I have them do the carnivore diet first. And then the next thing I'll have them do is like the autoimmune paleo diet, which takes away a lot of plants, but not 100% of them. Just all the ones that you could be, all the lectins, all the nightshades, all that stuff. And then the next month, they're going to do anti-inflammatory paleo. So it just takes away the nightshades. They still get more plants. And then they end up on paleo. So it's like 4 months, and every month they're getting more and more food, so they won't stay on carnivore. Now, let's say they do the carnivore, of course, they'll lose weight. And then they do autoimmune paleo. Hey, still cool. Then they get to anti-inflammatory paleo, starts to feel bad again. Now they know I got to do autoimmune paleo, or maybe they'll be fine on anti-inflammatory. So it keeps going. So here's what I did. Come up here to plan sequences, and I have made plan sequences. The carnivore to paleo progression is when they start with the carnivore and then do no autoimmune paleo, anti-inflammatory paleo, and then regular paleo. So they can figure out what's happening and what they can actually eat because it teaches them what to add and gives them a whole sequence. And keto progression. So that's the carb restricted keto diet. And then they end up on the clarity diet, which is when they keep increasing their amount of carbs all the time. So it's like this one's 2 months in a row, trying to figure out like where their ketosis point is. And this one is adding plants back so they can figure out what can I eat. So it's sort of an elimination diet, but it gets more and more permissive until you get to paleo, which is still not super permissive because you can't have gluten, you can't have dairy, but it still gives them way more plants than carnivore. So there's two progressions. So go back to my plans. So the carnivore is in here, but it's never my purpose to have someone always do carnivore. I had to download that to get the progression. All right. Leaky gut is 3 months. It's a really good anti-yeast diet. If somebody has yeast, they would do this because it takes away all the yeast and all the things that are mean to your gut and kind of helps you repair your gut. Whole diet, leaky gut. And in the beginning, I have a link to full scripts which tells them like, here are some supplements. Maybe you want to do, you know, the paleo shake just to make sure you're avoiding all the stuff this diet tells you not to do. There's supplements for leaky gut. So anytime in full scripts it said leaky gut in a supplement, I put it there so people would have access to safe supplements. Because there's no point in doing a leaky gut protocol and your probiotics have dairy because that's definitely excluded. And the same thing with carnivore. A lot of people get vitamin deficient, so I do have carnivore supplements, bone broth. I even have like cheating carnivore. Like some people do strict carnivore, and some people will do carnivore and have one plant and one fruit that are very low allergenic to start off so that it's not so strict, but that's all in there. Sculpt 8 Metabolic Reset is a medical weight loss plan. It's 8 weeks long. It's another one that has food and exercise, but it's a little more strict than the 60 Day of Health and Well-Being. This one's just sort of eat healthy and exercise, and this one's more boot camp. So that's a food and exercise. Most of my plans do come with supplement suggestions, like in the indigo method, I might say, hey, get some acai berry powder or a maqui berry powder to put in your food when you can't find something purple. This one will say, oh, buy some chia and flax seeds. This one might have some supplement recommendations that are good for viruses. So most of them I have added some full scripts links to. Mediterranean diet is, then there's diabetic Mediterranean, less sugar than the regular Mediterranean. Gluten-free Mediterranean, and so people don't lose weight on this. These are a little more strict, but Mediterranean's a very permissive diet. It's my favorite. The Ageless Feast has a lot of information on how food and genes interact and how you can eat to make your basically detox your genes. And it's the Mediterranean diet for diabetes, but I added to it. So it's called the Ageless Feast. I've called it 5 different things. I still can't settle on a name. I've made millions of different little thumbnails until I'm happy, but I think I'll leave it here. Gluten-free Mediterranean intermittent fasting is exactly this one, but it deletes your breakfast so that you have a short window to eat. Not short, like I think it's telling you 14 hours. Then you've got the Mind Diet. The Mind Diet, clinically proven, it's written like before 2010, but they've done studies on it and it's proven to help your brain and help with memory and focus and cognitive and all that. All it's done a lot of studies, but really it's a Mediterranean diet and a DASH diet stuck together. Basically, kind of a low salt Mediterranean diet. But I called it the EDGE protocol because since 2010 there have been a lot of new research, and I add a lot of supplements to this because if you take the plain old diet and add a few strategic supplements to it, or I add a lot of stuff. So this, I think, is better than just a regular getting a mind diet book. Modern Dash is basically the Dash diet, but then they've come up with new research in the past 10 years, and this Modern Dash on the platform, they have the regular Dash diet, but then they also have this Modern Dash that just has more, adds the recent recommendations. Some of the harshness of the Dash diet, they've taken out of it and made it a little easier to follow. Ningxia Red Challenge diet, but you're drinking Ningxia Red. Like every day it educates you about Ningxia Red. This is another 7-day detox. I didn't put it up with the 7-day detox because patients cannot access this platform. Like you can't just go into Full Scripts and get the Core Restored Detox Kit. Orthomolecular restricts it. I actually have to go in and put the detox kit in their account for them, which is fine. But those are people who are going to have to get permission from me to do it because orthomolecular very much restricts it and only a doctor can assign this. But it's still here in case somebody wanted to do that, read about it, wanted to do it. I would just message me and I will put them in so they can have the access. Paleo diet, it's just a paleo diet. Anti-inflammatory paleo, all three of these, like I said, I lined them up with the carnivore diet. This one is more strict than that one, and this one is the least strict. So I put them in a progression. But a person might just know they want to do one or the other, and they can select that and just do that. Intermittent fasting paleo is exactly the paleo, but they restrict your window for you and remind you when to eat and when to stop. The Daniel diet is a plant-based vegan diet. It's supposed to be for 21 days. People do this like the Daniel fast at the beginning, and I really need to change it. It used to be the Daniel fast. I changed it to the Daniel diet because I made it 40 days long so people could do it during Lent. So it's this plant-based vegan plan. It's exactly this, but with Bible verses in it. So that's all. Mostly plants method. It's a plant-based diet, but you can eat meat. So it's sort of encouraging you to mostly eat plants and maybe twice a week you can have meat, and here we are. So a pseudo vegan diet. Vegetarian diet, it's an ovo-lacto vegetarian. There's one that's like just a regular vegetarian diet, and there's one for weight loss. That's the one in the program. But if somebody wanted the other version, I could download it. Indigo Mom, 280 days pregnancy stuff. But it's very pregnancy genetic, like how to eat right to help your baby's genes, but also if you're eating that correctly, you just lowered your risk of every pregnancy related thing that could happen to you, most likely. And it would go well with the pregnancy exercise wellness app or the 2200. So I don't have them in a progression because then, 280 days later, you'd start with the thing and they have to be together. So a person would have to actually assign these together. The Indigo Mom, the pregnancy exercise wellness, and the 2200 calorie DNA optimized diet. This has diet tips, but no meals, whereas the other one has actual exercise every day and reminds you, and the other one has actual meals. So those three pregnancy things go well together. I made every day educational about essential oils that are safe, or vitamins that are safe, or foods that you want to focus on. So I put a lot of detail into this. Fasting light. So if you've heard of the Prolon plan, all three of these are the same. They're the exact same thing. This one's real Prolon. If you went and bought the Prolon box for 5 days and you have Prolon. But when my sister was doing the real Prolon, and I've done the real Prolon several times, I would be like, yeah, I don't want to eat the box food, but I'll keep you company. So I learned how to make, when she's eating tomato soup, I puree some tomatoes. When she's eating asparagus soup, I puree some asparagus. When she's doing this, so I was basically making the normal version of Prolon. And I call that the Fasting Light DIY Mimic Plan. Then Fasting Indigo is the same as this, but everything's purple. So you get 5 days of purple boosting foods, but they're appropriate for the DIY version of this diet. Weight loss roadmap is, I think, 180 days long and different tips on losing weight, like kind of a health coach for 180 days. And this is how to use BodySite. So everybody that I put in here, I enroll them in this so they can figure out how to get the most out of their app.